right, very good evening, ladies and gents. Welcome down. Ladies and gents, let's have a big round of applause. That was the surprise. Make some noise, everybody! Wow! All right, so Agnez was hiding. Well, not really hiding. Who can I have a check? Who actually spotted that first? Hands up. Who was the one? You saw it, right? What? Come over here. What gave it away? Just curious. What's your name first and foremost? What's your name?
Lani.
Lani, what, are you in Singapore just for this, or you work here?
Yeah, just 1-2 days.
You flew here just for this? Give a round of applause, everybody. Wow, how many of you flew here just for this? Give everyone a round of applause if you can. Thank you very much for joining us. So what gave it away? What happened? How did you recognize her? She's wearing a mask. Oh, you recognize as well. Okay, so what's your name?
Tengku.
Tengku. And how did you realize it was her when she's wearing a mask and all that?
Yeah.
Rambut, the hair, very nice. And the eyes as well. Okay, so ladies and gents, I want to say first and foremost, thank you for joining us in Madame Tussauds in Singapore. Give yourselves a big round of applause. Good evening, everybody. Can we also have a microphone for the lady of the hour as well as the lady that we're all here for? We want to give a big round of applause and welcome to Agnez Mo in Singapore, everybody. Wow. So you're here. There's supposed to be a grand intro, but you're already. So tell me what happened. What was the plan? What was going on?
So I think it's just too ordinary if we were to do it here, because I think we did the press conference with the media from Singapore and also media from Indonesia, and everything happened here, right? And so we thought might as well just like go there. I want to see like their reaction and how their genuine reaction when they first kind of like came inside the room. And I didn't realize how they really didn't notice that I was there, kind of like watching them. But at the same time, I kind of like just talked to one of the guys there as well. So I think they just kind of thought that I'm one of the staff or whatever.
I want you to do me a favor, because there's some fans who flew in all the way here from Indonesia. What would you like to say to them for coming all the way to Singapore?
Thank you so much. I mean, finally, without masks, I can finally see your face again. I think it's very, this is the moment that we've all been waiting for after like 2 years. It's crazy. But I have to say, like, those 2 years during the pandemic, I think we've survived what we thought we couldn't survive. Like that is something that was very... we couldn't even fathom what that was. And I think now we've survived everything. We become a new person. We've enjoyed the new normal, and now I get to reveal my wax figure at Madame Tussauds Singapore. This is so surreal, and to be able to like see you guys and like meet your faces again. I miss performing in front of like real fans, because for those 2 years when I performed, it was just like on TV, and there's because of the lockdown, there's no audience whatsoever, and it was really it was really tough like to perform those songs without the fans. But now I think this is a great view to see.
We have to talk about this. If you can, everyone take a step to the right. There's some space over there.
Yes.
Tell us about this.
Yeah.
Wow. Can we have a round of applause for the wax figure right here, the Madame Tussauds? What an amazing job.
So like I have to obviously give a shout out to some familiar faces. David Depe is one of Agnez as well.
Wow.
And and it's just like he actually flew all the way to LA to watch my first LA performance.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Exactly. And then Nezana, And then hits for sure from Singapore. And I remember when I used to fly Singapore Airlines. Every single time, like I would go to LA, they would always be there, kind of like waiting, and it always felt, it always made my heart felt really warm to kind of see how supportive, they are, to just like, for them to be there, to kind of like, hey, we're here, Act Nation is here, and we're supporting you all the way when you try to achieve your goal and achieve your dream. So it's pretty, now I'm back here again in Singapore after so many years. So, with my twin over here. Hey, hey girl, what's up, girl?
So, for the fans who don't know, tell us about the process. I hear there were many measurements.
Yes, jadi apa ya buat orang-orang yang mungkin dari bisa bahasa Indonesia juga, I'm probably gonna mix. I don't know if you guys all speak English or understand English. Campur. They want me to do a mix between.
I know, I makan campur also. That one I know. Yeah.
So the process was actually pretty long. We started the process in 2019 because we were supposed to reveal the wax figure actually in 2020. But obviously in 2020, pandemic happened. And so we thought, oh, maybe 2021, but then obviously it's still, the pandemic was still going on. Finally, we're here. We took over, I think, 200 measurements, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
And it was a tedious process, very meticulous. I watch how they really measure every single thing, hair, eyeballs, skin color, from the cheek to the jaw to everything, like to the hands, everything, like every little thing. So and also not only that, they also do like digital measurements where they put like little dots on my face, and they did their thing like in the computer, and then I kind of saw like, wow, like it's technology is so much more advanced, I think, compared to I think what Madame Tussauds used to be. So it was pretty exciting to see that.
What's your favorite part of this wax figure?
The favorite part was actually how tanned I look here. How tanned, my hands and everything, because I think during that time in 2019 I was a little bit more tan than right now. Obviously in 2 years I didn't go out in the sun. So but yeah, I don't know, it's when I walked inside in the first time that I saw the wax figure, it shook me a little bit, it kind of like, because you didn't really know, you know that you're gonna reveal your wax figure and it's supposed to be identical or whatnot, but you never knew, like you I don't know, it's just like a really weird kind of like surreal experience when I saw this wax figure for the first time just now, and it's worth it. I feel like it's worth the wait, because a lot of people from the internet who was live on Facebook earlier, they also said how identical she actually looks. So it's worth it's worth the wait.
Speaking of cereal and worth the wait, I'd like you to take a few pictures if you can.
Yeah,
fans,
for sure.
come closer if you can. Get pictures. I'll take the mic from you. And let's make some noise for Agnez Mo with a wax figure, everybody. Thank you. All right, so come and get your pictures. Agnez, give me your best pose. We got a few minutes right here before we have fan-submitted questions. The list says a few questions, but there are 11 questions here. So after this, stand by. 11 questions. And I want to say thank you. I know the fans here taking pictures, but I also want to let you know that the reason why this particular wax figure was chosen, because a lot of research was done. You can keep posing. We got about a few more minutes of posing. Yep. Because research was done, surveys were done, and it's because of you fans. You voted for Agnez Mo, and it's because of you. So you give yourselves a big round of applause. Thank you very much to the fans, by the way. Madame Tussauds would like to say thank you, because you are the reason for this fantastic wax figure right here with us. The fans all over the phones are very excited. I see all the hands are shaking right here. You're holding your smartphones, huh? All right, big smile for the camera. That's one of my questions later. Why do you chose this pose? We'll find out after this. All right. Fan question time. Stand by. Okay, Agnes, back to you. So these are the questions submitted from the fans.
Yeah.
Gonna ask you a few. A few means 11, which is quite.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I just say, can we give her a round of applause? Because she flew in from LA, by the way. A bit jet lagged. What time is it now in LA? Right.
Well, I mean, I flew in from Jakarta, but
Jakarta.
I was in LA about probably like 4 or 5 days ago, if I'm
Right.
not mistaken. So
It takes about 1 week to acclimatize.
yeah. So I'm still jet lagged right now.
And she's here for you, by the way. Give her a big hand, everybody. Agnes loves her fans.
Thank you.
All right, so these are the fan questions.
Yeah.
What are your best memories of Singapore? Have you tried any local dishes?
Oh yeah, stingray. Stingray, prawn mee, bakute.
She
and then
knows
what
stuff,
else?
huh?
Yeah, of
Right.
course, bakute. I think it's song 5, if I'm not mistaken. And then frog porridge. I think it's in Lorong something.
That's near my house, Lorong 3.
Yeah,
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 you had
exactly.
frog
Oh,
porridge.
yeah.
You like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
before I lived in LA, I used to go to Singapore probably like once every 2 weeks just to eat.
Frog porridge.
Yeah, just to
Okay.
eat like everything.
Now
And-
all the fans will go Lorong 3 Geylang. All right.
exactly, that's it.
To your fans in Singapore, will you be holding a concert in Singapore anytime
Oh
soon?
my god, I really want to. I honestly miss like touching the fans, you know, and we just started doing that in Jakarta probably like a few days ago, and it's different, you know, like we tried doing like the whole like virtual shows and all that, and then like TV shows without audience. It didn't feel the same, you
Not
know.
the same.
I miss their energy, and I think like for artists we feed off of our fans' energy. So hopefully after this, Singapore and
Let's-
Malaysia.
All right, let's hope, everybody. Let's hope. What keeps you going in the entertainment industry? What keeps you going, Agnes?
What keeps me going?
The fans. That's the answer right there as well.
Absolutely. But I think, you know, one of my best traits, like what I said to, you know, the press earlier, one of my best trait is I am such a good student, you know, and I think what people misunderstood about me is that people always think that I'm goal oriented. I am just in learning mode every single day, you know, and I think that's the reason why I'm still, you know, doing what I do. Because like if you think about it, but you already have fame, you already have money, you already have like all the materialistic things, but I think that's the reason why it actually shows how much I don't care about none of those, you know, like I only care about me improving myself every day, and how to be a better artist, how to be a better musician, how to be a better self, how to be a better sister, how to be a better daughter, how to be a better friend, how to be a better girlfriend. And I think, you know, to have that mentality, to be a good student every day, that's the fuel, and that's the reason why I still, you know, do this. And I think this year marked my 30th anniversary of my career.
Wow. Big hand, everybody. 3 decades. Wow.
Yeah.
I want a way to cap it
Yeah,
with a beautiful
exactly.
wax figure from
Yeah.
Madame Tussauds.
Even though sometimes I don't get it because I'm still 21.
Yep.
Yeah, you know. So sometimes I'm like, oh, but where's the math? But it's okay.
Now, will you be releasing any Indonesian music?
I mean, I don't know. Because I think about it. I thought about it. But I think like good music is good music. I think I'm at a phase of my life and my career that I've evolved so much, you know, as an artist and also as a human being, and I want to focus on what I fight for, and then what I stand for, and what I believe in, and what makes me happy, what type of genre that I want to do. And I think I deserve that because I've been doing this for so long, you know, for me and for the family, and also for the fans. I think it's time for me to really like listen to my inner voice of what I really want to do, you know, in my career, in my life.
We'll find out soon. Next question from fans. This is an interesting one.
Yeah.
You recently posted a picture on Instagram with Jessie. Rumors about a collaboration. Tell us more. Ah, it's interesting.
Well, I actually posted with other people too. But yeah, you know, like, cause I think Jessie is like my friend. You know, like she's she's legit like my good friend. You know, and we became friends even before the pandemic. And we talked about it a lot. We talked about like, yeah, we need to work together. But I think what's beautiful about our relationship, you know, our friendship, is the fact that we're like friends. You know what I mean? Like, we don't just like, oh, let's hang out because, oh, you're an artist and I'm an artist. Oh, let's do, you know, it's not transactional. You know, and I think when Jessie posted that on IG first, and she was like, oh, do you want to hear, you know, music from me and Agnez? I hit her. I text her immediately. Yo, girl, you know, like, our fans are gonna demand this. Like, you know, don't say that if you're not serious. You know, because she's very spontaneous. You know, like, she's very spontaneous. But also at the same time, I know how my fans work, and it's just like, I want to be careful of, like, you know, saying stuff like that. But when she was like super excited, I also don't want her to feel like, you know, oh, I don't want to do it, you know, because obviously she's like a really talented, you know, singer, rapper, artist. But there, you know, we're working on a few songs, you know. We wrote some songs together, but again, I don't want to jinx it. You know, I don't want to say anything because it's two people in the project, and I do have other music to come out first before that. So, so those are the ones that I can say that I'm releasing songs with other people first before.
Read
her.
between the lines. Read between the lines.
Yeah.
Who is the next artist that you would like to collaborate with?
Justin Timberlake.
Oh. Any contact? You can't say? There's a lot of laughing. We'll find out. All right. Now, your last...
I mean, we met, you know, we worked. But I mean, you know, again, I really want to release a lot more music, you know, and I know that I say that a lot because it is true. Like, I do want to, you know, release more music. And I think, you know, and this is what I owe to myself and also owe to the fans, is like explanation, because honestly, guys, during the 2 years, like the pandemic, and then me going back to LA, working with producers, and I have to say this because I love you guys as fans, but also as my, you know, good friends, nothing really inspired me like that in the studio. You know, like, I just felt so uninspired for, like, not inspired as like an artist, but just like music-wise, I just felt like it didn't really hit me, like, to my core. And I don't want to put out music just for the sake of putting them out. And even though I really want to put out more music, and I've always wanted to put out more music, I also want to put out music that I really believe in. And for so many years, and the past 3 years, I want to say, it's like, it's there, but it's not quite there, until I worked with Timbaland again in Miami a few weeks ago, and that's when I was like, this is it. Like, this is my sound, and that's the reason why I got so excited, and the universe kind of, you know, lined up, and hopefully, you know, like, we get to release those music that I worked with Timbaland. So
looking forward to that one as well. A lot of exciting things coming up in your life. Now, this question is about acting, so a different industry.
Yeah.
Your last acting gig 10 years ago in 2012.
Yeah.
Any plans to go back to acting? This is from one of your fans.
Yeah, you know, funny to say, actually in this October, I actually was supposed to fly to China to shoot something big, actually a movie, but then and I think in China they also like did another lockdown, you know, like yet another lockdown because of like the rising of, you know, COVID cases and all that. but it's actually quite good. It's kind of like a blessing in disguise because then I could plan those recording sessions with Timbaland and the rest of the guys. So, you know, I just kind of like want to go with the flow. I don't want to fight the universe. I don't want to fight what God has planned for me. So, you know, knowing what I know now, just stay tuned for more music this year.
Wow,
Yeah,
excited for that
yeah,
one. All
for
right,
sure.
2 more to go. Can you share any advice to young children on how to be successful like you?
I honestly don't have the answer to that. You know, because when I first got to do what I do right now, I never thought that it was for me to be successful. You know what I mean? Like it's like a thin line when I did my music and when I jumped into, you know, what I'm doing right now. It's never about that. You know, it's about being true to myself and do what I love to do. And I think that's the reason why I could still do it after 30 years, because I genuinely love what I do. You know, I genuinely love music. I love creating. I love the space that I'm in every time I'm in the studio or every time I'm on set directing my music video and in the studio dancing and creating this choreography. Like I was such in a different like headspace when I'm in, you know, in those spaces. And I think it's kind of like a confirmation that, okay, Ag, like this is your path, right? So I think, you know, I really don't have the manual book for the young generation to be successful, but I know this, that don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to take your time to find your own voice. You know, not your parents' voice, not what the society wants you to be, but your voice. You know, and I think that's what got me into this, because when I, like years ago, I feel like 10 years ago when I said I wanted to go international, that was my voice. And yes, it was considered impossible at the time. You know, it was considered like kind of left, you know what I mean? What do you mean? Like go international? Like what do you mean? You know, go to Hollywood? But that was my voice. That was when I found my voice. And I think that's what everybody needs to do. Like the young generation, just find your inner voice and follow, you know, that.
There's a deep question right here, which is, you know, following up to what you just said.
Yeah.
What is your life principle? That's a very short but deep question. Who asked that question? What is your life principle? That's a fan question right there.
Wow.
It's a
I
tough
don't really
one.
have like one, you know, life principle. Mind your own fucking business. I think that's it. Honestly, that's what I do, and it works well for me. You know, again, be a good student. I think again, like that's what my, you know, my motto. Find your version of you, not other people's version of you. Be a good student and mind your business. And by mind your business in a positive way, you know, like don't try to blame other people, you know, for your situation. Don't try to like talk about your neighbor's problems, or, you know, like go on social media and try to be like, yeah, why are you so? No, like focus on yourself. Yeah.
Which leads to the last question. It's a long one. I want to shorten this question. Do you have any worry before posting any social media content, which is related to mind your business?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But then I learned how to stop it, you know, and it's always this really thin line as an artist and as a public figure, because to me, again, authenticity is really important, because I don't want to look at me on social media and then like, oh, but this social media doesn't represent me. Oh, but this is not me. This is what the fans want me to be. you know. So there's always that thin line between, is this me, and then are the people okay with it? And it always brought like so much like responsibility that a lot of times I actually ended up not posting because of that. And then I took that power back by turning off the comments and just have fun with it. Just have fun with social media, and took that power back and make my social media again.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Give it up. Give it up. All right. So anything else you'd like to tell your fans about your wax figure before we have a very special segment up next?
Yes.
Anything else you'd like to tell them about the wax figure?
You know, I am quite fortunate that, you know, Prabal Gorong is the one dressing my wax figure, and the reason why I wanted him to be the one doing it with me, you know, collaborating with me, is because of what he represents in, you know, his design. He stands for, you know, like AAPI community for sure. He is very vocal about it, which I feel like is what we need as a community. I think, you know, this represents me, you know, like the glamorous, you know, like you can see kind of like the blings here, but also just a freaking like sweatshirt, you know, with colors that represent, you know, Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, you know, unity and diversity, but also jeans with like, you know, just unique design. And I think the combination of it all is what represent me. So, you know, when I saw this collection, like I texted him immediately and I said, hey, Prabal, I think this one right here is what I want for my wax figure. And he said, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Big hand, everybody. Make some noise. We have a special surprise for you from the Agnez fan club. Fan club's here somewhere. Where's the fan club? Fan club is here. I mean, everyone here is the fan club.
Yeah.
But the fan club is here. A surprise, everybody. If we can. All right. Hello, fan club.
Hi.
Okay, hang tight. Fan club is here. Make some noise, everybody. Everyone's so silent, huh? Was everyone jealous? Is it what's going on here? Come on, guys. Show some love and support.
Thank you so much.
One more time. Give it up, everybody. All right, we're going to pass the flowers. And this is the most important part. Yeah, who wants some pictures? I don't feel the energy, so it's not happening. Who wants some pictures? All right, we're going to have group pictures. Our friends right here from Madame Tussauds will be facilitating. Please be patient, everybody. Don't worry, we'll all have group pictures, total one, at least group by group. So hang tight. We're going to let our fans here, or at least our friends here, facilitate. Thank you very much. Can we have a round of applause for Agnez as well, everybody? Please do me a favor. Big hand. She has been here since the morning, by the way, and she's been so hard at work meeting the fans, virtually, in person, meeting the media. We're going to have a picture right here, everybody. All right, stand by.